It's time to get inside the Giants Huddle.
Let's go!
On Giants.com.
I like it.
And the Giants mobile app.
Boom, give me some juice.
Part of the Giants Podcast Network.
Let's roll.
All right, we're back here for another edition of the Giants Huddle podcast brought to you by Citizens, the official bank of the Giants. Our position series as we interview Giants at different positions heading into 2024's training camp. Today, we're going to talk to the big fellas, the offensive linemen, so a longer episode, a lot of interviews with Giants tackles, guards, centers, the whole gamut as we discuss the Giants offensive line and hope it can be a better group and a healthier group in 2024. Now we're joined by Giants starting left tackle, Andrew Thomas. Andrew, what's up, man?
How you doing?
All right, I know you don't like to talk about injuries, but I'll ask you this anyway.
Yep.
When did the hamstring actually feel okay last year? Was it like February?
Feel okay. Probably late January, I would say. When I came back, there was still some inflammation and things like that in it, and it wasn't back to full strength, but I could do my job. But
I'm sure it limited your mobility a little bit, right?
Definitely. I didn't feel comfortable really running off the ball, which I think affected my run game. I think I pass blocked pretty well last season, but I definitely felt like it made my run game a little more deficient.
All right, so you're 100%. How's your offseason been? What are some of the things you've been focusing on in terms of trying to become a better player?
Yeah, I would say the first thing is just being healthy. The first month in the offseason, I just took some time away from football, away from the game, just to focus on myself, my family, and then hit the ground running, just training, a lot of rehab, prehab things just to make sure. Obviously, you can't stop freak accidents, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you aren't going to be sprinting 50 straight yards
exactly.
very often.
But just doing whatever I can. And then with the new, additions we have to the staff, with Carm and all the new guys in the O-line room, just trying to get us all on the same page. We have a lot of veterans that understand, how to play the position. So I'm happy to have those guys in there and just doing my best to help translate, our terminology to, whatever they're used to.
Yeah, I want to dig in with you on Carmen Bricillo because obviously you've been here with your third offense. Actually, you were here when they had like 3 guys in 1 year. So I don't know if you can count how many offensive line coaches you've had.
This will be my 5th offensive line coach.
Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't even add them up. How is Carmen Bricillo a little bit different than the guys you've had here before? What makes him unique?
I would say Carm. I would say what makes him unique is just his passion for the game. You can tell that he's very intrigued with understanding offensive line play, the offense as a whole. And I will also say that he really cares about how we see it as players, if that makes sense.
So he'll ask you stuff about how you want to handle things.
He'll ask he has non-negotiables, like all coaches have it.
Of course.
But he'll also ask because he understands that like I played in this system for a while. And like we signed some more vets, like he had Jermaine that played with him in a similar system, so he understands that. He always says like he's never played in the NFL. He what I'm saying, he's coaching and he's teaching from his experience what he's learned as a coach, but as a player is different. So he asked for our input on certain things.
It seems like I've made sure to spend a lot of time. Because you guys can't do contact in OTAs, right? It's a lot of mental work. It seems like he's just a very detailed coach where he knows exactly what he wants from everybody in the spots, and there's a lot of teaching going on during a lot of these sessions.
Yeah, I think it helps a lot that Carm began his coaching career in the NFL under this system, being, with the Patriots.
And being under Dante Scarnecchia
exactly,
probably doesn't hurt either, right?
Exactly. So he was at the beginning of that, offense coming into form, and I think he does a great job of translating this, especially for the young guys. And, Daves and Kafka, like, they're great. But we have so many plays, so many nuances that we have to, be able to hear the call and replicate it and do our assignment. So I think he does a good job of breaking it down for the new guys and the young guys just to make sure that everyone's on the same page.
I want to attack 2 different parts of this. The first is the mental part. How much has he changed up the protection rules that you guys have in terms of passing guys off, handling blitzes? How much is that mental, here are your rules based on formations, different from what you did the last couple of years?
Yeah, there's a few changes that we've made just based on like mic points and stuff like that, and then just what we call certain blocks or what we call certain sorts. But the meat and potatoes of it is just the same protection. Like we're going weak sort, we're going to the wheel, like stuff like that. Like we're doing the same type of scheme, but he's changed the way we call certain things.
How about technique from a physical standpoint? How is he teaching you guys to handle things any differently from a physical standpoint?
Yeah, in the run game, he teaches different techniques. Like some coaches teach near foot, and then some teach like almost like a rocker step on like inside zone and stuff like that. And
Sure.
he allows us to do both, like just based on the linebacker alignment and things like that. And then in the pass game, he wants us to set a little bit more vertical, depending on where our responsibility is and who that rusher is.
Do you like the changes?
I like it. I think sometimes, especially when I look at my game and I watch film, I see that I take a very similar set almost every pass play, unless it's like a quick protection.
That's a good thing.
I want to be better at having switch ups, because when you're going against the elite guys, they can key in on that if you're taking the same type of approach every rep.
All right, final question. You're
Yeah.
talking about going against the elite guys. I know there's no contact in OTA, so you
Yeah.
don't really have a feel for it yet. But Brian Burns,
Yeah.
tell me what it's like trying to block that guy.
Yeah, so I actually played Burns. I think it was 2 years ago.
That's right. It
when
was
we
2
played
years
the
ago. Yep.
Panthers, and, that was my first time getting to go against him. And great competitor. I mean, he's explosive. He can bend the edge pretty well. And then right now, like you said, we're not doing a lot of physical stuff, so it's more like working your hands and your technique and stuff like that, which I think is good for both of us.
Andrew, good stuff, man.
Yep.
Enjoy your rest of your summer, and we'll
Yep.
see you in training camp.
Cool.
Now we're joined by new Giants offensive lineman, Jon Runyan. Jon, how are you, man?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on here.
So you're a vet. You've been around the block a couple times, but everyone tells you this offense is really tough to learn. How's it been for you the last couple months trying to absorb all of this?
Yeah, they definitely weren't wrong. It has taken some used to, with it, everything, all the terminology. But I'm getting the hang of it now, and it helps having really smart guys around me, especially our center, John Michael. He's been helping me a lot, and slowly getting there and feeling more comfortable each day.
Yeah, we have one of your teammates, Jermaine Eluemenor, who I'm sure has helped you coming with Carmen Bricillo from Vegas, trying to kind of get you involved. How has he been helping you trying to kind of learn everything and get going here in the offense?
Definitely. Jermaine's been with Carm. I think this is their third stop together. So they definitely have a interesting dynamic with each other in the offensive line room, and it's funny to joke about. But some of this stuff we're doing on offense and the protection schemes is something that I've never really done before, and it's taken some getting used to, but understanding it now. And a lot of these guys have been in the system for a long time, so it's nice to be able to go to them and guys like Jermaine, who's been under Carm for a good amount of time now, and kind of learn how it hits their brain, and me trying to put that into how I see the game as well, and just kind of understanding this philosophy and scheme that we're putting in.
You mentioned Michael-Schmitz, your young center. Everyone has a lot of learning to do in their rookie years, heading into a second season. When you see him as a guy that has to make the calls, control the offensive line, where is he in terms of the mental aspect and becoming that leader of the group?
He's been fantastic every step of the way that I've seen him, from day one of the offseason to where we're at now. Rarely makes mistakes. You can't even really tell that he's a second-year player. He kind of feels like he's a fourth or fifth-year veteran, the way that he's up at the line of scrimmage, commanding everybody, to his left and right, and making sure everybody's on the same page in the backfield, the quarterbacks and the running backs. And it's been awesome. Really smart guy, tough, and excited to play with him, coming August, September.
I know you're not a big social media guy, so I'm not sure if you've caught wind of this, but when you first got here, we did our interview together, and you said, I'm a little more comfortable on the left side. And then when you started playing right, everyone's like, oh my God, he's playing right. I don't know what's going to happen. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, the guy, he started right. I don't understand what the big deal is. Does it matter to you right or left? Are you perfectly comfortable playing at right guard?
Yeah, I mean, I've played left in college, and early on in my career I played left, but most recently I've been playing on the right side, and pretty much been strictly right ever since we started the offseason program. So I definitely feel a lot more comfortable there, starting to feel very, very like home to me, for sure.
I know Evan hasn't been taking a ton of reps in the team yet, but what has been like working with him on the right side, at least from the mental aspect of the game?
It's been good. We've been in walkthroughs together mainly. He hasn't done any live team reps for I think it's the doctor's orders, whatever he's got going forward, and it's been great. He's been helping me out as much as he can, and we're trying to help each other here and there. I'm trying to learn from him how he sees things, and whatever he needs help and pointers on, learning how we're going to work together, fit these double teams, where our feet going to be so we don't step on each other. And it's been a fun learning process, and it's nice having one of the largest human beings I've ever seen in my entire life to play next to. So it's been nice.
He's a big dude.
Yeah.
Final question. You've been around offensive line coaches a long time, good ones. What makes Carmen Bricillo a little bit different, and what makes him effective as a teacher?
Yeah, he's really detailed. We'll be watching a play in the film room, and it seems like maybe we spend 10 minutes on 2 seconds of film that has passed, and really detailed. He's hammering that home, and
just like hand placement, footwork, things like that, or is it more mental, like rule stuff?
A little bit of everything, honestly. He doesn't skip anybody. He goes right down the line, and we identify, and it's not just him coaching at you. It's you having a conversation about like why did this happen? What do you think caused this? How can we fix it? What can we do to try to improve and get better? And it's been great giving pointers to guys to try to work stuff in the team periods where it's a new technique and it's not necessarily going to work out right away, but giving you that grace and understanding that you're trying to learn a new technique and going forward that's going to work out and be more effective down the line. And it's been great. I think everybody's been really enjoying the room. I
guess that grace will disappear as we get into training camp and preseason games.
Right? Yeah, I say so. That's what the off season is for.
Yes, that's what this is the learning. This is the learning time in there. Absolutely, Jon. Good stuff, man. We appreciate the time. Thank you.
You're ready for a change. Payday comes early with Citizens, so go to that retreat. New You moves to the country. Now you're raising goats and launching a lifestyle brand. Are you ready for all that life brings?
Football is coming, and so is the next college semester. If you need funding, a Citizens student loan could help you pay for 100% of your school certified cost. Get your rate quote in about 2 minutes at citizensbank.com/payforcollege. Now we're joined by Giants offensive tackle Evan Neal. Evan, what's going on, man?
Nothing much, man. I'm blessed to be here. How you doing?
It's great to talk to you as always. Always love talking to you. First, I think what Giant fans want to know is how you feeling health-wise, man? Where you at?
Health-wise, I'm feeling good, man. Still, recovering from my ankle injury. Almost ready to go. Still have some fine-tuning things. Ankle's definitely strong and moving along in the right direction.
Now, we're recording this just so fans don't start freaking out. This is the middle of June, so we still got about 6 or 7 weeks. In those 6 to 7 weeks, do you expect first day of training again that you're going to be rip-roaring, ready to go, full go, team, the whole 9 yards?
That is the plan. That is the goal. God forbidding any setbacks or anything like that, I'll be ready to go first day of training camp.
How have you been able to stay up on all the new stuff with Carmen Bricillo, with the protections and all that, having to spend some of your time at practice on the side doing rehab rather than being with the offensive linemen doing the drills?
Just taking advantage of as many mental reps as I can, trying to pay as best attention as I can in the meetings, taking good notes, asking questions, and also taking advantage of the walkthrough periods that I get to participate in as well. Just trying to take the time to, focus more on the mental side of the game.
What is it about Carmen Bricillo as a coach and a teacher that you like and strikes you as something that's positive?
So far since I've been around Carm, he's definitely thorough in terms of how he breaks down and, explains our offense to us. He creates a pretty good working environment in the room as well. And on the field, he's a good coach. He's going to demand excellence. He's going to get after you. So he's going to call it how he sees it, but I believe so far from what I've seen, he's going to call it fair as well.
How do you think he's going to help you improve your game?
I feel like just by, helping me out, coaching me, if I have any questions or pointers, something that he may see that I need to work on or maybe need to adjust, whether it be a set angle, whether it be, how I look at my stance or how I'm carrying my hands or how I'm seeing the game, like how I'm understanding our offense, how I'm understanding and recognizing defensive fronts and, safety rotations or when pressure's coming and just understanding the game from a, holistic standpoint.
I know you never wanted to make excuses, but in the first 2 years in the league, you've dealt with an ankle, you've dealt with a knee. Second half of your first year, I know you came back after the knee, but to me, you didn't look right. How much overall has that impacted your ability to improve your craft as a lineman, as a football player, as you have to worry as much about trying to get your body right as you are trying to train your football stuff?
Correct. Definitely, it just took away valuable reps from me. Those games that even though games are serious, over the grand scheme of it, it's kind of like practice. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm finding myself sharper than my skills.
Every rep you get better, whether it's in a game or
every
practice.
Single rep. And those are reps that I had to miss out on. Hey, everything happens for a reason. I wouldn't change anything about it. Injuries happen. That's nothing that I can control. Just want to have the most positive attitude about it moving forward and, not miss any more time moving forward.
All right, final question then. As you begin to get away from the rehab stuff and you really start zoning in on football stuff and training your technique, what are some of the technique areas of your game that you're really trying to hone in on and improve on so you can show improvement on the field as a right tackle?
Yeah, definitely what I want to focus on and improve on is my pass protection, for sure. I want to, get better in every facet of the game, but I feel like if I really can dial that in, that'll really help me take that next step into being the player that I know I am. And overall it'll help us as a team, help us as an offensive line, and even, being more consistent and being better in the run game also.
Sure.
So I want to look at it, from an entire perspective and just in terms of getting better in every way that I can.
Is it more hand placement for you? Is it lower body stuff? Is it balance? Is it footwork? What are some of the specific aspects you're really trying to hone in on?
You could call it hand placement. You could call it balance. You can call it positioning. You can, call it whatever you like. But, if those are areas that need to be addressed, those are the areas that I'm going to focus on addressing. Every day, focusing on one thing each practice that I go out there and practice and, do it until I can't get it wrong and then moving on to the next thing. And as time goes on and as the season goes on, I've been in a really good spot.
And we can't wait to see it. Evan, always good talking to you, man.
Likewise.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we're joined by Giants offensive lineman Jermaine Eluemenor. Jermaine, how are you, man?
Really good. How you doing?
So do you feel like, I don't want to put too much on your plate here, but do you feel like you're almost a little bit of like an assistant coach too this spring, coming with Carb with you from Vegas, try to help teach his system to all the guys that are already here?
Yeah, I think the big thing is just bringing guys along with you. On the offensive line, all 5 of us got to be one. So why not try to spread the knowledge? I've been in the league for 8 years now, and I feel like it's my job not only to perform, for this team, but to help other guys reach their goals and the level that I know they can play at also.
Why do you think, and why do you embrace that leadership so much, and why do you think it's so important to you?
Because I've been around really good leaders and really good players, and I know what it takes to be a really good offensive line. And, we have AT, we have Ev, me, Runyan, Schmidt. I'm probably the oldest guy on the O-line, so I feel like it falls to me in order to be that guy that tries to lead everyone in the right way and in the right direction. So hopefully we can have one of the best offensive line in the NFL next year.
You've been playing mostly next to Andrew Thomas at left guard. You guys are both pretty large individuals. How dominant do you think you guys can be on that side, not just in pass pro, but even going together in the run game?
Yeah, playing next to AT is dope. Him and Schmidt I'm learning, are really, really smart, and they know this offense like the back of their hands. So for me, it was a little bit of a learning curve because I know the offense, but the terminology was different. So they've been helping me big time. But just playing next to AT, knowing what type of player he is, knowing the type of player I want to be, it just motivates me even more to play up to his level, if not, reach new heights with him and Schmidt. So it's been dope, and I'm really excited to get the opportunity to play next to him.
You talk about some of the pass protection rules that Carmen Bricillo brings with him. Talk about how that's melded with some of the intelligence the guys you're talking about, Schmitz and Thomas, and how have they all kind of figured out maybe some of the new rules that Carmen Bricillo is putting in place as compared to maybe what they did there the last couple of years?
Yeah, I think it's putting more on their plate, but allowing them to be the players that they're capable of being instead of limiting them and kind of saying, hey, look, we need you to do this and do it this way, instead of, hey, we need you to do this, but think about the way you want to do it and get it done. It's giving them more freedom to become the players they want to be and to just go out there and play free. So it's been dope. This has been a really good offseason and a really good OTAs for me and the offensive line, getting the gel together, and I'm really excited for minicamp and obviously training camp.
Final question. You've been at guard in the spring, but like on the side, you're like, all right, well, if I'm on tackle in this play, then I got to do this. Like, are you like mentally, in case they do eventually need you out there because of injury or something like that, if you need to go to tackle, are you mentally preparing yourself in case of that situation?
No, I trust the guys we have in the room. Ev, I know he's going to ball at right tackle. I trust Easy, Josh, Yadni. We have a really good group of tackles in the O-line room. So for me, worst case scenario, if I had to do it, I can do it. But I'm really enjoying my time at guard, and it's allowing me to use this body that God blessed me with to really, get on those guys and physically dominate them. So I'm really excited for the opportunity.
I love it. I can't wait to see you in there.
Yes,
Jermaine,
sir.
good stuff, my man.
You too.
Thank you.
You love turf. You're good at it. So you start a turf biz. Business grows, your savings grow. Become the most celebrated name in turf. Are you ready for all that life brings?
And now we're joined by Giants second-year center, Jon Michael-Schmitz. JMS, how's it going, man?
It's going good. Yeah, it's been a really good off season, yeah, it's going good out there.
So how is Jon Michael-Schmitz rookie year different from second year off season where you don't have to worry about a combine, you don't worry about getting drafted, and your sole focus is being in this building, getting better as a football player?
Yeah, matured a lot, and not only grew as a football player, but grew outside of football. And if it was just body work, if it was getting my mental health right, and just stuff like that. So yeah.
Now, obviously, you're someone that was very in tune with the mental part of the game already. But now being in this offense for the second year, do you find your confidence in that regard growing a little bit where you're more comfortable being very vocal and taking control of that line?
Yes, definitely. I would definitely say my confidence has been getting better and taking more control of the offensive line room as the confidence grows. So it's definitely been a big step for me.
What has it been like working with Carmen Bricillo, new offensive line coach? I'm sure there are some new protection rules, new calls, and things like that you're trying to learn this offseason.
Yeah, Coach Carmen's a great teacher, a great offensive line coach. He helps you really understand the game, and he brings it down to a low level, and then he works his way up, which is amazing. He just works really well with us, and I got all respect for him. He's really intelligent. He knows the game really well, so a great addition to have in our room.
Yeah, I've been watching you guys a lot doing your drills, and it seems like he reminds me more of a teacher than a coach a little bit. Everything is so detail-oriented. There's not a lot of yelling and screaming, and it just seems like in every single play when you guys are, you have no contact yet, but you're working on your calls and your protection, that everything is just very, very detailed.
Yeah, no, even if we're doing indie work, even if we're out there doing walkthroughs by ourselves and stuff, he wants us to be very detailed of the calls we make and what to focus on and what technique we're going to use here. And he's just been a tremendous part of my game so far. So, yeah.
Watching the two new guards, the vets, kind of work with you and the tackles, I feel like those two guys are really good at communicating. I see you guys after plays, after practice. There's a lot of discussion going on. How have those two veterans that have seen a lot kind of helped bring your group together a little bit?
Yeah, they helped us a lot. I mean, Jon and Jermaine have been tremendous additions to this O-line unit, and they've helped us grow a lot. And like you said, I mean, they've been in this. They're veterans in the league, and they've helped me out and let me understand the game more of how they see it in a different angle, maybe that I haven't seen. So.
And Jermaine was with Coach Bricillo in Vegas, right? I imagine him being able to, from a player perspective, help you guys understand what he's asking for must be a huge benefit too, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like Jermaine, I think when he first got here, he just we asked about Coach Carmen stuff, and he was very straight up of what he's going to demand. Obviously, he's got a high standard in the O-line room, and he's going to hold you accountable to it. But he's a great coach and a great guy to lead this room.
Now, I would say, you can correct me if you think my impression is wrong, that you're a pretty quiet, mild-mannered guy off the field, right? You don't say a lot, but when you speak, you want it to matter. Talk to a couple of guys though. When you're playing, you like to talk a little trash a little bit, don't you? To the defense a little bit. Are you a talker?
Depends.
What does it depend on?
I don't know. The mood I'm feeling. I don't know. Yeah, you just gotta.
I like that. I think that's a good thing, man.
Yeah. It all depends. It just, I don't know.
And when you
it just happens. You really can't. You don't really have a say for it. It just
comes out, right?
Just comes out.
If you need it, you need it. I got you.
Exactly.
When you went at season was over and you kind of sat back, you took your little break, you went back and you looked at your rookie year. What was your impression of it?
Yeah, I mean, tough year. It was a tough year. It was a lot of growing up. I had to do this off season, and it was looking back at film, what I needed to study, what I needed to, and just take little things here and there. No, you can't look at it the whole picture of it. And obviously, you're going to critique every rep you have, but you got to take the good and the bad out of it at the same time. So just know that there were good things that we've accomplished this past season, but obviously that's not where we want to be. That's nowhere near. We have visions for this year. We have goals for this year, especially our O-line room, and as a team, we're excited to get after it.
All right, and when you took a look at the tape, we talked about the mental part already, how you're trying to work on the new calls and the offense and all that stuff. From a physical standpoint, what were some of the things that you pinpointed off the film last year that, all right, I need to get better at A, B, or C in order to take my game to the next level in the pros?
Yeah, I would say definitely my initial set in pass pro. I would say that, especially if you get the one-on-one matchup. And then I would say sustaining blocks in the second level. Just if you, as a center, just climb up to get those linebackers. Mm-hmm. And then probably just more finish. More finish in the run game, more finish in the pass game, and getting in a great position. So
I guess my final question is, how much different are you can give me both sides of it, the physical technique that Coach Bricillo is teaching you guys, and then the calls, the mental, your pass protection rules. How much is that stuff different from last year with Bobby than it is this year?
Yeah, I mean, he changed a little bit, but for the most part, I mean, he's been adjusted to what we've been doing. So I mean, he's had his his stuff that he wants us to do, and he just added on stuff that he wants us to, obviously the techniques, the calls he'll make, and all that. So yeah,
JMS, good stuff, my man. Appreciate it. Enjoy your summer.
Appreciate it.
Now we're joined by Giants offensive lineman Marcus McKethan. Marcus, how are you, man?
Man, I'm doing good, man. Doing great.
Good to talk to you. What has this offseason been like for you, actually being able to work on your craft as a football player, not having to worry about rehab?
Yeah. Nah, it's been a lot of time for me to focus on my game and still just work on my growth and development. But, you know, still got things to work on.
What were the things in terms of growth and development you were really trying to focus on this offseason where you're trying to get better?
A lot of fundamentals and just my basic knowledge and understanding of the game, which is just fronts, IDs, just stuff like that.
Was that made a little bit more complicated given there are a lot of new protection rules with the new offensive line coach? How are you able to kind of mesh those two things together?
I wouldn't quite say it's different rules. It's just he has a different philosophy, I guess. The way he approaches the protection is a little bit different. So it's not really quite the rules are changed. The rules are still the rules. It's just the way we approach and the way we go about the rules is the biggest thing.
How does that different philosophy help a younger guy like you that, to your point, is still working on the mental part of the game and trying to make sure you have everything straight?
And just making sure we have a basic understanding of the game, as far as fundamentals and the X and O's. It helps great with that, and just building up your general knowledge.
Watching him from afar, he seems like some coaches are yellers and screamers or motivators. He seems more like a teacher to me, where he's really getting in on fine points of details. Can you give me some examples of some of the stuff how that maybe helps a guy like you as you're trying to still, mature into a good NFL player?
I'm trying to think about that one. I mean, I guess I can't just stop repeating it. Let's say if we go with the pro, he just harp on the details. It's just knowing what the defense is in, having that basic knowledge so you can already know what to expect, what pressure might be coming just off the technique in front of you, and just so on and so forth. And that's knowledge that you can take with any scheme or any playbook.
What is it you like about the way he teaches you guys and his approach?
He's thorough. If he hasn't taught it to you, then it's he's not going to be furious and upset that you don't know it. If you don't know it, then that's the problem, but we're going to fix it immediately and just work from there. It's just your responsibility.
What are your big goals for yourself this year?
Just to keep improving and make sure that above all else that I stay consistent. That I want to be consistent. So that's my biggest goal this year.
Talking to your teammates, you guys have a lot of vets in that offensive line room this year, man. Especially guys on the inside that have played a lot of snaps in this league.
So it's a lot of knowledge to draw from.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how have those guys kind of helped you along as a younger player trying to learn the tricks of the trade a little bit?
Yeah, I mean just wearing film and they constantly pointing out little details, little things that I think about, but I may not think that might be the issue or my problem at the time. And they point it out and just give me a small tip or something that I can use to correction and just further my game.
Well, we can't wait to see it, Marcus. Appreciate the time, man.
Appreciate it.
And now we're joined by Giants guard Aaron Stinnie. Aaron, how are you, man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's nice to meet you. What has it kind of been like trying to figure out this offense and everything they're trying to ask you from here with Big Blue?
It's been awesome, man. It's it's a new spot, learning experience, but It's a great program. The coaches are doing a great job of installing things. So it's been pretty good picking it all up.
And you have a couple young guys in that room, right? Evan Neal's only going to his third year, John Michael-Schmitz in the second year. But you also have a lot of vets that have played a lot of games. How has it been kind of having so many experienced guys in that room trying to take in what Carmen Bricillo is trying to teach you all for the first time?
Honestly, I think it's great, man. Being that we have so many vets in the room, that's a lot of different people that have played a lot of different snaps in this game, a lot of different techniques and terminology that, we can pick and learn off of each other. So it's been a great job of guys, kind of, learning things from each other because, we're all at different places of our careers. And, the young guys, they're very talented and they know a lot about football as well. So, I think it's a great way and collective of people in there to be able to teach each other and learn off of each other. And Carm's doing a great job of, holding the reins and leading everybody down the right path.
How is he either similar or a little bit different than some of the past offensive line coaches you've had? What makes him stand out?
I think he has a great way of being able to deliver the information to you to have it applicable to the field and for you to be able to hear it and be like, oh, okay, I know exactly what he's talking about. I actually see it from that standpoint on where he's kicking it at. So he does a great job of being able to relay information to you so that way you can absorb it and, use it as you go on down the line. And
talking to Andrew Thomas, he told me that he is open, too, of hearing from you guys what you see, how you would want to play stuff. And while he has non-negotiables, and I'm curious to know what those are, he's willing to listen to vets like you that have done this a long time to figure out how to best handle that with this group.
Yeah, for sure. And he does do a great job of that. He has a few things where he's like, hey, this is exactly how I want to hear this way. And the nice thing about that, though, is, when he does give something like that, he follows it up with the reason and why. And it makes sense as to why he would want it done that way. And then, for guys that are, later in their career or, just kind of have certain habits that are working for them, he'll see that, notice that, and won't try to coach you up or change you on things that are actually working for you.
For a vet like you that knows stuff, you've been around, you know how this stuff works, right? How important is it for you to be told the why and for it to make sense for you? So it's one thing to just copy the technique he's teaching you, but to understand why you're doing it, does that help you as a player to adjust as the game goes along?
Yeah, I think it's definitely helpful. Honestly, regardless of where you're at in your career,
of course,
whether you're a young guy, whether you're an older guy, getting that information of how it's going to help you out on the field, how it's going to help you do this or that. I think it's a great way of, it allows you to go, oh, okay, this is why you're saying this. This is why you're teaching this. And you can actually see it kind of done in an imagery setting in your head. And you're like, oh, okay, cool. Then you go give it a try and you're like, it makes sense.
We never had a chance to talk when you first got here. Give Giant fans an idea of the type of guy and player you are. What are they getting with Aaron Stinnie?
Hard-working player, man. Love to have fun, go out there. It's a blast out on the field. Love to help out my teammates, man. And I just want to go out and help this team to, win some games and be as good as we can.
Can't wait to see it. Aaron, good stuff, man. Appreciate it.
You, man.
And now we're joined by Giants offensive lineman, Austin Schlottmann. Austin, how are you, man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
So, center only? Are you working at guard a little bit too?
Mainly center, but I can do some guard, kind of if they need it, is kind of the situation. So,
what has it been like working with Carmen Bricillo?
It's been good. It's definitely a different system than I've been in. But
how so?
It's been fun to learn. I think we've just kind of we've got all the tools to attack defenses with whatever they give us. So we've kind of got everything in and just getting on the same page with everybody and learning the way they like to do it. And but yeah, it's been a good time. It's been fun. Now
you're a veteran in this league. You've been with different coaches, different systems. Yeah. What kind of teacher is Carmen Bricillo compared to maybe some of the other offensive line coaches you've had?
He's awesome. He's been around for a while. He's been coaching the position for a long time. I think he has a good idea on how to kind of get those systems and stuff across the players and to where we're all understanding it in the same way.
One thing I really like that you guys have been doing out at OTAs is that it's not just the O-line working together. You have a period, it's almost in every OTA from what I've seen, tight ends come in, the running back comes in, the quarterback comes in, and you're making calls with the quarterback based on how the other offensive linemen and coaches are kind of lining up the defense, right? Talk a little bit about how that kind of helps build chemistry with your group and making those calls to make sure you get those protections right.
I think that's super important because we're like on game day or in team periods and OTAs, we're relying on communicating with each other and everyone being on the same page to make the play look good and get everybody blocked and to be successful with any play we run. So I think getting everybody working together where we can kind of slow down and talk about the rules and why we're doing it certain ways is very, very helpful for sure.
What has it been like working with John Michael-Schmitz, a young center?
Yeah, it's been fun. He's a smart dude. Really understands it well. He's a good player. So it's been fun kind of working with him.
Yeah, I got to imagine. In terms of this offense, a lot of people say for the skill position guys it's complicated. What is it like for a center and offensive lineman?
Yeah, I think it's like I said earlier, it's complicated, but it's complicated because we have every tool to attack a defense in any way that we need to based on what they give us. So we have everything in at all times. So you kind of have to know what to do with everything, which can help us in the long run once we get it figured out.
All right, final question is you faced them in practice, but more importantly, you faced them in game situations.
Yeah.
Explain to fans what it's like trying to block Dexter Lawrence.
It's tough. Yeah, it's not easy. A lot of double teams, a lot of sliding to him and protection. Just trying to get 4 hands on him is basically the game plan there.
When you have a guy that is not just that big, but is that agile, right? Because there's one thing if you know you just got to anchor down, it's a big guy, he's going to come straight at you.
No,
I'm sure
move.
Then you could adjust your technique. But when that guy can also swim you or rip you,
He's got
just
all
talk
the
about
tools.
the challenge, his combination of athleticism and size will give giant opponents this upcoming year.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, if you don't have a system in place or a plan to get 4 hands on him, like I said, on every play, you
can't block him.
You're fighting an uphill
right?
battle. Yeah, it's tough. It's definitely tough. Yeah, you gotta have 4 hands on him.
Good stuff.
I'll say. Yeah.
Austin, this was fun, man. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Thanks.
That's a look at the big man up front, the Giants offensive line. A lot of conversation about Carmen Bricillo, their new offensive line coach as well. I thought some really good information from the guys as we get ready for the pads to come on when training camp begins at the end of July. I'm Jon Schmeelk. Thanks for being with us on the Giants Huddle podcast, brought to you by Citizens, the official bank of the Giants. We'll see you next time, everybody.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.